Good morning, and welcome to Rush Off-Road Park in Rush, Kentucky. It's way easier. It's way easier when the off-road park is named after the town. It's way easier that way.
What's up, everybody? We are in Rush at Rush Off-Road in Kentucky. This is the 5-Star Tuning September Slam, brought to you by Power Sports of America and HP Tuners. We are here, of course, for the Pro Rock event this weekend. We're bringing you Hillside Live for all the action. And we have just kicked off the stock class. Or, I'm sorry, the unlimited. We have both stock and unlimited running right now. And this is Liam Morris.
What's up, Jimmy Flynn? Trey Moore? Derek Porter? That's mine, I think. I always forget to turn my phone down. Yeah, it's my phone, I think.
All right, we've got Trevor Foltz. Just left the line.
Yeah, so this is the endurance class. These guys are ripping up the line. I think we have some unlimited and stock jumping in together. I think we have some stock guys mixed in with the unlimited class.
We do. We have 3 in the unlimited, and then we have 2 stock. So we've got Liam Morris, Trevor Foltz on the course already. Roger King just took off the line. This is a 2-mile survival course. A lot of it is going to be right here where you can see kind of winding through this hill section behind us. So, which is great because that means we can get a lot of it on camera. Mark Zabeth just took off. And then Steve Stosberg wrapping up for the stock class in the Cherokee.
Yes.
Heading up that hill. So, like I was saying, it is a 2-mile course. Obviously, we can't cover all that on camera. But a nice chunk of it is playing around on these hills behind us here. So you guys will be able to see that.
And you have to love the Toyota and the Cherokee bringing up the rear. I think all my guys out there that are Cherokee guys, Jeep guys, and my Toyota guys are all showing lots of love right now. I have quite a few friends who are hardcore wheelers that own one of both. Some of them own one of each. So, and Cherokees are pretty brutal. I know Toyotas have been around them for a while, so it's good to watch those guys get out there banging around.
Yeah, it's kind of the true run which brung concept,
which is
out here.
So much fun. It's so much fun. Get some buddies together. They can help you pit. Clyde's going to go out there and be a spectator, he said. Get his little lawn chair out there. So, again, there's that first big hill you saw. A couple guys online were saying they see that big hill and they think, hey, I want to send it. The big bouncers here, right there, look at that. That is an awesome shot. We're going to be seeing that big.
Oh, they're definitely going to be sending it because they've got to jump that gap.
So, from the tip of the edge of it to the other side, I went and measured it this morning, was about 12 feet is how the gap is. But the problem is, from where you actually leave and where you land is probably closer to 25. I went up there with Justin Wills this morning. We kind of measured it out, and he was taking some pictures, and so it's gonna be an interesting day. So I can't wait to see the big bouncers hit that.
I think that's Liam Morris that we see coming out of the woods for just a little corner there, and he's headed back up in. If you've ever been out on the trails here at Rush, it's quite a mixture. I mean, it's rocky.
It is.
It's pretty dry out here right now. I mean, we had some rain, or they had some rain.
Yes.
Pretty recently. I believe this is going to be Trevor Foltz now. But a nice course, like I said, it's 2 miles, so nothing too crazy, but definitely still falling under that survival category. And fortunately, a lot of it is where we'll be able to see these guys as they're kind of in and out of the woods here on the course and then playing up and around the big hill section right behind us. An awesome spectator zone here today at the park. Super spectator friendly, especially once we do the hill climb later this afternoon. It's I found some water out there on the track.
Get a little squirrely.
I believe that's Roger King.
It's always fun to watch Ultra 4 cars. They're a lot of fun to watch. I told somebody I want to have one just to have as a trail rig because they're so capable. They can kind of do all types of terrain. They can do sand. They can do rocks. Whoa, getting a little squirrely up there. getting up the course there, so they can do a little bit of all kinds of terrain, some sand, some rocks, some hills. Again, anybody who's familiar with the King of Hammers, it's a great event, huge attention draw. So obviously they do a lot of terrain there, and you do it for about 18 hours straight. So it's pretty brutal, and at that point, it's literally such an endurance course. It's just trying to get across the finish line. There you go, coming out Toyota ripping through the woods.
All right, this looks like Mark Zabeth.
I love the sound of a good Toyota. And I was kind of joking this morning. A Toyota, all Toyotas from like 85 to 95 sound the same. Like no matter what you do to it, they all sound exactly the same. And you can hear one. Once you own one, you're like, that's a Toyota. I can hear it come through the woods. Got a pretty good looking cage on top.
Yeah, it looks very capable. It's ready.
It is.
It is. To play.
And then the Cherokee coming through the woods.
Yeah, that's Steve Stosberg.
I love the Cherokee. Looks a little bit more like the beater with a heater, and
hey, it came to play too.
And it's so awesome because like then you get inside, you look around, and you're like, oh wow, there's like $2,500 or $3,500 for the cage work inside of here. So
well, I have seen Steve thrash crap out of that thing.
Oh yeah.
The last time I saw him race it was at Dirty Turtle on the track out there.
Yeah.
And Steve has actually helped work on the Avenger many times over the past several years. I think maybe first at the Expo in Louisville.
Yeah.
Several years ago, he was able to. He lives in Kentucky, so he was able to get some parts for us when we needed them. And I know I talked to him a little bit yesterday, and he said he actually had just been talking to my dad, and they were talking about bulldozers and the Avenger.
Well, even with the stock class, it's kind of crazy because I remember thinking, calling some buddies like, man, we should get a Cherokee get together. If you want to race stock class, you still have to have a cage and race seats and a 5-way harness and fire extinguishers. You're still about $15,000 range roughly just for safety equipment to be able to race the stock class. So again, and the reason for that is because you might be out somewhere ripping through the woods or ripping through the desert or through even just an open set of trails, catch the edge of a tree and roll it pretty hard. So they want to make sure everything's really safe, even in the stock class. So usually there is quite a bit of safety equipment you have to have. So even if it looks kind of like a rough Cherokee, there's still quite a bit of money invested into it just for safety gear, not to mention all the things that help it go fast or stay durable.
All right, and that should be Liam Morris. Yep. He made his first lap. I believe they're expecting this to be about an hour to hour and a half.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it goes by lap or by time. Laps or by time. Time limit.
And again, the big bouncers will be kicking off today at 2 o'clock. We have the kids race, which will be 170 razors. I believe that kicks off at noon.
All right, there's Trevor Foltz.
And
coming back around for his lap 2.
Again, it's a good thing we have headsets because these guys behind us are absolutely ripping through here.
Yeah, that definitely helps. All right, guys, if you are just joining us, we are here for the 5-Star Tuning September Slam event. We're at Rush Off-Road in Rush, Kentucky. And this weekend is brought to you by Power Sports of America and HP Tuners. You're watching the Stock and Unlimited Survival class. Following this, we'll have a short, maybe 20, 30-minute break. And then we're going to go into the UTV Survival class. After that, around noon, will be the Kids 170 race. And then around 2 o'clock is when we will plan to be starting the UTV and Bouncer hill climb, which of course will be taking place on the hillside that you have seen behind us. So we've got 5 vehicles out on the survival course right now. It is a 2-mile course. You know, Matt, it's been several years now, maybe like 4, but I did a UTV survival race out here.
Really?
Rush one time. It was 10 miles.
In the big booty Judy rig, or?
No. Poor Judy. She wouldn't have survived that. No. Jody Ford and and the Brannick team.
Oh, yeah. Good guys.
Let Dad and I, Dad rode with me. We did that. So, yeah, shout out to them because that was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
For giving me a car to drive.
Jody and Brannick are both awesome dudes. Love them. Brannick Motorsports, I know they do a ton of sponsorship with not just Ultra 4 stuff, but also with the bouncers. I know they make Timmy's trailing arms. They're aluminum ones that are super sexy. I gave him a hard time when they were making them. I'm like, oh, man, you sure these are going to hang up to rock bouncers? And he said, well, we've been running them here for King Hammers for 6 years, so I think they'll hold up to a bouncer. I'm like, all right. So he said if they can survive hammers for 6 years on a row, then I think we'll be just fine. But yeah, they make. And I know there's quite a few guys going to aluminum links. Obviously, aluminum a little bit lighter, so it's kind of interesting to see the strength versus the weight and see how guys are using that now in bouncers and becoming more lightweight as guys get a little faster. We also got our stock class guys rolling in. Looks like the Cherokee and Toyota are kind of battling out a little bit.
Yeah, we've got Mark Zabeth and Steve Stosberg. Steve is staying right on his tail. They're coming into their second lap.
Dude, that's going to be a pretty good race because they're kind of bumper-to-bumper racing at this point. So blazing through the trails. And I think at this point, again, only having two stock guys in this class, as long as you don't break, you're on the podium. You know, fingers crossed, you got to finish. So it looks like they're being competitive, but also having a little bit of fun.
Man, racing an hour-long race out here, though, it's definitely you want to finish.
Oh, yeah,
obviously. Yeah. So there's got to be a little bit of some conservative driving, I'm sure, in some of these parts.
Well, and again, it's hard to do it when you're doing kind of the door-to-door style racing like these guys are, because you want to get out, you want to be competitive, you want to have fun, but at the same time, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, we have to save the car.
Right.
Like, we have to keep it together.
And that was what put me out of the survival race that I raced in. Finally cut a tire so bad that I couldn't keep going. But it had already gotten completely dark. So not only is it just a 10-mile rough course anyway, it's totally dark out. So your headlights are just playing tricks with the shadows and everything while you're going through the woods. And it's real rocky out here.
And
so
I'm sure
lots of ups and downs and drop-offs and needing to pick your line. And you're feel like a Jedi, you know, pod racing through the trees, weaving around, and then all of a sudden James Cantrell would come up behind me or something. I felt like I was going so fast, and then one of those guys would come up
blaze
and
past you.
I'd pull to the side real quick, they'd fly by, you try and keep up for a second, and it's so dusty you can't see. But man, that was a lot of fun.
And again, like you said, you know, whipping through those woods with all those trees, it's so hard to do. Pod racing, almost probably what it feels like as you're whipping through these trees, and that's during the daytime. At nighttime, it's a whole other level of difficulty because now those trees seem to kind of pop out in front of you, and you're darting right, darting left, and some of the trails are so tiny. You're tired, you're physically exhausted, you're mentally exhausted. You know,
it's a long day of racing.
It is.
We did 2 laps pre-running, which would be 20 miles, and then I did 3 of the actual race before I was done.
Solid.
So that's 50
miles of racing
in a day.
Yeah, arms are starting to get sore.
Dad, our radio went out like on the first lap. So it was either like yell at each other, you know.
Point.
So afterward, and you know, Dad was co-driving with me, and we had pre-run a lap together, and then I did one with one of the Brannick team members to help me get a good feel for the course. But so we had some ideas, you know, which turns we needed to make and stuff. But afterwards, I remember telling Dad, I was like, "Man, you were kind of quiet over there. You didn't say anything." And he was like, every time I looked over, you were so focused. I didn't even want to like yell at you
Throw you off
and
track.
Mess you up because, you know, you're going through the trees as fast as you can and everything. He was like, you were so intense. I didn't want to mess you up.
Yeah, and you are, you know, blazing through that wood section. You're white-knuckled, you know, pressed to the glass, just trying to weave back and forth.
So much fun, though. I would do that again.
Oh, it's an absolute blast.
Today is James Cantrell's birthday. What? We're going to have to make sure we tell him happy birthday. All right, this should be Liam Morris coming around. He's on his 3rd lap now. He's maintaining a pretty good lead. I don't see Trevor Foltz coming out of the woods yet. Oh, well, no, that's Steve. He's on a different part of the course.
Stock guys still pretty close to each other.
It looks like Steve passed Mark Zabeth.
Maybe.
Yeah, the Toyota is behind
There you go.
Cherokee now. All right. There's Trevor Foltz heading up the hill.
Kennedy, it's going to be a great day today.
Is it supposed to rain on us today?
I hope
I
not.
thought it was going to be sunny, but it's looking a little iffy out here.
I
Good thing we have our handy dandy awning.
I'll take a little
Roll
cloud
out.
cover versus being hot and sunny.
Shoot, we went from very hot and dusty just last weekend in Missouri at Red
Yes.
Springs Ranch
Yes.
to hoodie weather and nice overcast sky here in Kentucky just a week later. I saw a meme that said the temperature went from 90 to 55 like it saw a state trooper.
You know what? Back
So
home,
true.
it was the same way. It was like a sauna, and then boom, the next day we're like, do we need to turn the furnace on? Like,
Yeah. It's going to be back up in the 80s next week, but it definitely is feeling like fall right now, and I love it.
it's it's perfect weather. I have shorts on, but a hoodie, so it's like that perfect temperature this morning. And I'll take this because if you're in the shop working, you got your hands on a vehicle or using a grinder or a torch or something. So I like having pants on, at least a long sleeve shirt, helps keep the sparks and some of the grease off of you. So this is like perfect weather.
I'm just glad to finally be wearing some jeans.
Yeah.
I was starting to get tired of shorts and tank tops.
Or not getting sunburn as you're outside sitting there. So that's kind of handy. That's true. Yeah. Some of us are pure Caucasian, so we 100% Caucasians. We tend to take a little more. My hair, I'm not as red. Like if I have facial hair growing, it has kind of a reddish tint to it. But I'm not as red as our tech director, Taylor. He's probably a slight bit more Caucasian than I am. So he said, "I'm almost see-through." Yeah, he's almost see-through. That sunburn gets full. It's full 100%. It's all the sunburn.
All right, that's a shot of Liam Morris, I believe.
That's
Heading
our-
up into the woods. He's on the third lap right now. All the unlimited guys are.
Our stock guys should
Or
be
should
ripping
be.
through here soon. What's up, Sarah Sorensen? Some of our team Sorensen tuning in there. Timmy Sorensen again. He races a rock bouncer with the Southern Rock Racing Series, as well as his son also has been putting it down in a side-by-side and a little dirt bike here lately. So, Cutter Wayne,
Cutter is living the life, man.
they take they're
Living the life.
Yep, they're good racers, so they take good care of us. Thomas Lohr, a CTC Perfection Driveline. They also take care of a lot of racers. He races with us. He's rolled. He's almost wadded his buggy up. I think the last 3 races with us, but he puts on a heck of a show. So you can't really blame the guy.
Yeah, he had an interesting couple of races in a row.
He did. I think he was the only one that rolled over backwards at Hawk Pride. Heck of a show. Broken axle, rolled it down backwards, and
All right, I believe that's Roger King.
again, you got to love the sound of the Ultra 4 cars. They just sound so good. What's up, Nathan Grant? Thanks for tuning in. Again, we got, right now we're watching for those of you guys just tuning in, we're watching the Endurance this morning. Noon, I think we're kicking off the kids stuff. 2 o'clock, we're doing bouncers. We got 2 courses we'll be doing with them today. And again, there is a massive jump. When the cars come by us, you'll see the jump. So it's going to be an interesting this afternoon. Hopefully the guys make it all. If not, it will be quite a bit of carnage because I don't think there's a slight, you can't crawl it. You're not going to drop in and crawl it. It's too shallow, but it's going to be a good day. I know Timmy Cameron's out there sneaking around the pit somewhere. I'm sure he's coming up and checking the hills out.
Oh, he did that the last 2 days. He might still be.
I seen him post a picture of a little
Relaxing
turtle
right now.
he was following around the parking lot
Turtle?
on his Snapchat. There was like a little turtle he was following. So I don't know if that was saying that he thinks his other racers are going to be really slow, or he was saying that he doesn't want to be slow.
All right, there's a shot of Steve Stosberg. It looks like he was able to pass Mark Zabeth.
Again, you got to love a Cherokee. They're out here ripping through the woods.
He is getting after
Absolutely getting it.
it. Coming up to this hill.
Again, that is a super steep hill.
Having a good time out there.
Just having a ball. taking time.
Speaking of having a good time, I want to talk about the fun run real quick. Looks like there's Mark Zabeth.
Our other stock rig coming through.
The fun run, November 6th, in Hot Springs, Arkansas. It used to be Superlift last time I was there, which has been a long time. It's a charity event that is benefiting Camp Sunshine. There is going to be a UTV bounty race on Showtime Hill, which we will be live for. And there is also going to be a raffle for a Razor XP Pro 4.
Which I could take. That wouldn't hurt my feelings.
I wouldn't turn it down. So if you want to get in on that, you can go to fun-run.org. And I believe we've got a poster here. There you go. A little information. But that is November 6th. It's in Hot Springs. We will be live for the UTV Bounty race on Showtime Hill. It's going to be a good time, y'all. I'm looking forward to it. That means we have one more event after finals to round out the year with.
Yeah, I can use a free side-by-side. And it's for a charity, so that's even like a better cause, too.
It won't be entirely free, but tickets are only $25 a piece.
And again, going for a charity event.
Even if you don't win, yeah, it's for charity. It's for a good cause. Camp Sunshine, Clyde could give us more details on that, but it helps kids that are burn victim unit.
Which is awesome.
So, gonna be a good time out there. If you want to learn more about it, head to fun-run.org. All right, most of our drivers right now should be on lap 4, I believe.
Speaking of burns, I saw Wes Keene was out at Bristol Motor Speedway last weekend. I seen the Bacons and him, and there was
there was a whole crowd of them out there.
There was. I commented on Angie Bacon's page. I said, "What? No invite?" And 3 or 4 guys commented and liked it. And Angie and Big Tim were there. I seen Ethan Martin and his wife were there.
Yeah.
Chris was there, and then obviously Wes was there, and it was super. And he must have had his wife, and she must have had some friends, because I seen 4 or 5 group pictures of all of them together, and then there was a picture of just Wes and her out in front of the crowd, and I was so happy to see Wes out.
Yes.
Naturally at a racing event.
So good to see them.
You know, naturally Wes he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go out. Let's go out to a racing event." Surprise, surprise, right? You know, not often you see Wes at a racing event, right? That's shocking. I said something to somebody else about him getting back in the bouncer. They said, "Oh, he's already in the shop doing donuts and stuff at the shop in the side by side." I'm like, of course he is, because you expect Wes to be in a building in a side-by-side doing donuts, So huge
Natural habitat.
Yeah. So huge shout out to Wes.
It's exciting stuff to see. A little bit different course, a little bit different tactics. Everybody's plans a little different.
Sounds like we have our stop. There you go, Cherokee blazing through the woods. I tell people back home, anytime somebody comes in my off-road shop and they're like, "Hey," or I'm out at friends, they find out I own an off-road shop, they start talking about, "I wanted to get in a full, what should I do? Should I go buy a new Jeep?" And they're talking about buying like a 4-door Wrangler or something. I said, no. What you need to do is buy a Cherokee. You can get on Facebook Marketplace or eBay, find your local place, buy one for about $500, take it out for a day, like go to your local off-road park, and have a ball. You will have an absolute blast. You can destroy that thing and have $10,000 worth of fun in a $500 Cherokee. And the best part is, at the end of the day, it's still worth $500 no matter what you do to it. So.
Oh, looks like Mark Zabeth
got a little battle going on there.
Passed by, is that Liam Morris?
I see a Toyota down there.
And there is, I believe that's Trevor Fultz. I can't see anybody's numbers from here.
Yeah, well, it's a little hard once they get muddy.
Yeah.
We have
not quite as obvious the colors anymore.
One brown car past another brown car.
Yeah, they've got a whole tangle of all 3 of them heading up that hill right now.
Trying to pick some different lines. Again, that's kind of the importance of pre-running. You'll see a lot of guys get out and do quite a bit of pre-running on side-by-sides before they get the big car out. And the benefit of that is you can pick an alternate line in case your line gets blocked. At like King of Hammers, that's super crucial because there might be somebody get stuck and hung up in the rocks. They have a broken axle. Now they're trying to winch. So you do have to have alternate lines planned. Again, with woods, it's a little bit easier. You can kind of zoom around some trees. I say woods. Sometimes it's easier. Sometimes it's easier. Sometimes it's not as easy in the woods. So you can't exactly drive over or through a tree. Although I've seen some drivers try, it doesn't usually end well. Trees don't have a lot of give. So having an
only so many options.
yeah. So having an alternate line plan when you're out there doing your pre-running is super crucial. That way, again, if there's a wreck in front of you or a guy breaks down, snaps an axle, you can have that alternate line to go around and again keep your quick time because you're not just racing the guy in front of you, you're also racing a pack of guys trying to chase you down too. So you always keep that in the back of your mind about battling them. So
that is one of the fun things about like a survival race or a short course or something that's different from just rock bouncing is you can chase down the people that are in front of you.
Yes.
Or if there's people behind you, then you're definitely driving faster too.
Oh, yeah.
You do not want to get past. So it adds a little element to it. That's fun.
And I always love chasing down the guy in front of me. I don't necessarily like being the leader and getting chased down because then it's like how hard
stressful.
It is, and you don't like how hard do I push the rig? You want to be competitive, but you don't want to break it.
Right.
There's that kind of teeter-totter effect of how hard do I push the rig?
I don't want to get run over.
Yes. So it's kind of that
it
toss-up.
It definitely adds a whole nother element that rock bouncing does not have in it.
Got Roger coming to line. Again, these Ultra 4 cars sound absolutely amazing coming up here. Definitely have great engines with great exhaust. They sound beautiful.
Unlimited cars are going to be 10, while the stock guys are just slightly slower, not much slower. Those guys are going to be completing 7 laps today.
All right, that's Roger King out on there on the. This should either be lap 4 or 5. Hi, Craig. We are at Rush Off-Road in Rush, Kentucky. You guys are watching the 5-Star Tuning September Slam, brought to you by Power Sports of America and HP Tuners. This is a pro rock event, and we are bringing you all the action with Hillside Live. Matt Holt in the co-host seat today.
Heck yeah. Got Carrie Ann tuning in. She's done pictures at 2 of our events this year. And I tell people, it's on race day, it's always good to get a lot of shots, for your sponsors, your friends back home. Plus, it's good to have a cool picture of your buggy doing something neat. And it's so hard to do on race day because usually the last thing you're thinking about is taking pictures.
I'm so bad about getting my phone out.
Horrible.
I'll have like 3 races go by and realize I haven't taken one picture.
So you always want to try to get good pictures. So it's awesome when we have fans like Carrie Ann that come and take 60 pictures of every single vehicle there that day. She showed up at our Hawk Pride and literally took probably 60 pictures of every single buggy that went. She took pictures of us in the morning when we were all like standing around doing our driver's meeting and prayer and the national anthem. And it was super, super cool. So huge shout out to her. And then she said, that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. So then she showed up at our last race in Missouri and did the same thing. So huge shout out to her and all the fans that show up, take pictures, and hang out with us. We appreciate it.
All right, there's Liam Morris headed up the hill, and it looks like this is Trevor Foltz close on his heels.
And again, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but they're absolutely getting it.
Hey, Craig, I'm not sure yet if we will be at the Boo Bash event this year or not. I'm sure it'll be fun either way, though. Boo Bash is always a good time. Speaking of other upcoming events, though, I know that we will be at next weekend, Bikini Bottoms in Dyersburg, Tennessee, will be SRS number 3. And we will be out there Friday and Saturday for our usual weekend of racing. And then finals is going to be October 14th through 16th at Mid-America Outdoors. And then the final race or event for the year after that, as far as I know at this point anyway, will be Fun Run November 6th, which I told you guys a little bit about already. We might go over those details again a little bit later. Make sure everybody gets a chance to hear what's going on with Fun Run. Either get to make it out there in person and enjoy the event, or you can always, of course, tune into Hillside Live and watch that UTV bounty race. All right, there goes Mark Zabeth.
The Toyota buggy. Can you hear that Toyota 4-cylinder just screaming out there, that 22R? I said it could be an RE, I guess. Blazing through the woods. Again, they all kind of sound the same, so it's great to anybody who's owned a Toyota knows what that Toyota sounds like. It's a lot of fun.
Craig says Wade Good going to tear it up. Speaking of Wade Good,
I believe
is today.
I think so.
Wedding?
I think so.
I think it is. I know a lot of our off-road racing family
Oh, yeah.
was heading to, well, wherever
Yeah.
the wedding is.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I mean, is in Missouri? Are they in Tennessee? Kentucky? I'm trying to remember.
Kentucky?
Wherever Chris Hickman's at is where he's at, I'm sure.
Anyway, so congrats to Wade and Mahaley. Excited for you guys.
They're two of the nicest people you'll ever meet. I mean, Wade's just a heck of a guy out here having a good time. He shows up at the races, always has a positive attitude, always just a guy willing to help out other people, has a lot of fun, usually comes out, does quite a bit of pre-running. Was with us in the booth when Paul Wolf was running, and we said, I might get your time. And he said, that's okay. He said, I love Paul. I hope Paul beats me, Not many racers have that kind of attitude. That they cheer their buddy on, while he's out there running. So, it's great to see that kind of camaraderie with racers, and we appreciate that in our sport.
That's Liam Morris heading back up into the woods. Looks like he's followed pretty closely by Trevor Foltz.
I say it looks like they're a couple different lines there. See if we can't get him past in the woods.
Trey says Stanford, Kentucky is where the wedding is
Okay,
at.
there we go.
And Craig, thanks for the invite to come get some barbecue. If we make it up that way, we'll definitely come check that out.
There's a great kind of shot from where the spectators will be seeing. You can see that sign where the spectators will be behind. And again, that shows how tall some of those mountains really are where those guys are racing at. So Becky tuning in from Mississippi. She's cheering on Papa Poe Racing in number 6 and Tillman number 6 Racing. Again, that shows how gnarly. Again, right behind us, right here, will be this super sick jump. You're going to see guys jump later today. I posted some story stuff on my Snapchat and my Instagram this morning of how actually big how massive that jump is. So it'll be awesome to see that. Thomas Lord jumping in there. Again, gave him a shout this morning as he takes care of a lot of the drive shaft stuff for the guys. I know they're based out of Indiana, so they take pretty good care of us. He takes pretty good care of us with our bouncers and even with some of our just play toys. So that always sends me some cool koozies, the magnetic ones I love, so you can just clip them on the chassis.
Those are pretty
You
handy.
just clip it on the side of the roll cage of your buggy and makes you like, oh, there's my soda right there. It's kind of handy.
All right, sounds like Steve Stosberg is going to be, there he is. Coming out of that hill section, headed back up into the woods. Matt, do you think that we should do a trivia question?
I concur. I concur with that.
Just for fun.
I concur.
Just for the folks at home. Let's see. I have a couple options
I see a couple written down there.
I need you to answer that one for me.
Oh, okay. Give me a second. I was actually trying to figure this out last night.
Okay.
I was looking at something.
You think about that.
Okay.
How about, well, has anybody out there been watching Nick's new video series
Yep.
that he's been doing called Reminiscing on the Hill? And I think he's done it twice at the last 2 races now. And the first one was about Cable Hill, and the second one was about asking what was your first first bouncer that you drove or rode in. So, if anybody has watched that video, then they will know the answer to this.
Yes.
So, what is the first bouncer that I drove?
Ooh.
And no, you're not going to know it unless you watch Nick's video, because it's not one that is still around. I'll tell you that. It's been a while. So, just for fun, we're going to throw some trivia at you guys today. The nature of survival racing means that obviously the action is a bit spread out across this 2-mile course. So we want to keep you guys as entertained as we can, and trivia is one of the best ways that I can think of to do that. There goes Roger King, I believe.
Again, they came out and kind of wet this area out in front of us out here this morning, kind of help keep the dust down, and it's done really, really well so far today.
All right, and that's Liam Morris.
And you can see how muddy the rigs are. So clearly there's some wood section where there's a bit of dirt.
So these guys are on either lap 5 or 6, I believe, at this point. That's Trevor Foltz heading off up the hill. All right, so does anybody out there know? Can you tell me what is the first bouncer that I drove? And you have to answer on the Southern Rock Racing Facebook page.
I don't know-
That's the
I don't-
one that I have pulled up right now.
I don't think I know the answer to that.
You won't know it unless you watch Nick's
Okay.
Reminiscing on the Hill video.
So you're saying it's not the Avenger?
Oh, definitely not. No.
Okay. All right.
No, I was about 14.
Okay. So
So.
that was back in the old days.
Yeah, it was the first of. It probably wouldn't be a bouncer by
As-
today's
I would say
standards,
probably-
but it was the first like tube chassis,
Yeah, buggy.
like buggy,
Yeah.
that my dad built after his M715 Kaiser, somewhere around that era.
Yeah.
And I drove it up the left side of the chute at some park that I can't remember. My dad could probably tell you.
Yeah.
But I was 14 and he was very excited that I drove it, and all I remember is it was the left side of the chute.
That's all you remember.
Wherever that is.
Yep.
Does anybody out there know where that is?
Say, there, if you could find a trail that has a right and a left, I went up the left side.
Something, the chute. I
Yes.
don't know. I can't. Dad
He
Dad
could
was watching. He could tell me. But
probably help pick out which way it was. Yeah. It's like the they move the Coca-Cola bottle in front of it, like, hey, yeah, we'd like to thank this wonderful drink. And they drink it with like a logo out and everything. We'd like to thank this wonderful drink today.
well, if we ever get some sponsors
We
on
do.
board,
We do need to pick
we
up-
would be happy to do that.
If you own a soda or a water company or any beverage, anything that's a liquid, we will. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that would be bad as drinking alcohol on live television. Woo!
Well, alcohol's gross.
Yeah,
It really is.
yeah. I'm not a beer fan. It's a lot of work.
Not worth it.
Yeah,
Now chocolate. Chocolate is worth it.
yeah.
Chocolate is
What's your
always
what's your
worth it.
favorite chocolate?
Oh, I don't think I have a favorite. I'm not that picky.
No, yeah. I like all chocolates. I'm slowly moving a little bit more towards like dark chocolate versus milk chocolate.
Yeah, I like darker chocolate. Oh, we got, let's see, I think that's, man, is that Liam Morris getting a little squirrely heading up the hill into the woods there?
Craig said there are 10 people deep coming from Michigan down to Boo Bash. That should be a good time.
What was that?
4 laps. Said Jed Harper tuning in.
Charles said, fat girl. Was that your answer to my trivia question, Charles? I have never had the pleasure to drive a Tim Cameron. But
Really?
Fat Girl was a little before my time in the wheeling world, I think. I'm not sure what year that would have been. There's Steve Stosberg. Man, he's just getting it out here on this course. It is fun to watch these vehicles. Everybody, we got so many different things out here today. We're going to have the Pro UTV guys out here after this. We got everything from Cherokee to the 4400s to rock bouncers to UTVs out here. Good times today at Rush Off-Road in Rush, Kentucky. Again, this is the 5-Star Tuning September Slam put on by Pro Rock and brought to you by Power Sports of America and HP Tuners. And you are watching the stock and unlimited survival class right now. And then we'll be going into the UTV survival class with a little, maybe 20, 30-minute break in between. And then we have a kids 170 race later on. They have a nice little course ready for those guys down in the old mega truck mud pit area. And round 2 is when the UTV and bouncer hill climb should be kicking off. And you're going to get to see, can I do this?
I know it's hard.
That way.
Yes.
The jump. Right there. Wow, why is that so hard?
It is. I always have to look at the picture, and I'm like, okay, I need a point between me and Bree, so that'd be this arm. And then I'll bring the arm up and be like, oh, it's right here. And it looks natural, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm doing this. No, it's your,
That's so
my,
complicated.
right here. There we go.
It really stresses your brain out.
It does.
trying
It's
to
like because
figure
you're
this
trying to
out.
move like. I feel like
never be a weather
Talladega
person.
Nights. He's like, what do I do with my hands? What do I do with my hands? He's like, just put them down, sir. Okay, what do I do with my hands?
Well, anyway,
So-
up there between the red banners
It is a
is a
massive
jump, which if you've never been to Rush or seen any other races out here, you can't really tell that from here. But there's a pretty sizable gap
It is huge. It is
right
huge.
there. So it's going to be fun to watch. Watch some hill climbing later this afternoon.
They definitely call it the Leap of Faith. Funny story, the Leap of Faith actually won Tim Cameron a steak dinner once. Because my very first year racing in the Southern Rock Racing Series, we raced here. And we walked up the course. We were looking at it all, checking it all out. And Timmy was like, "You gonna jump it?" I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna jump it." And I said, "You know, he was getting obviously a lot of pointers. My very first year, I was getting lots of pointers and what air pressure to run and how fast to hit it and all these other good things." And talked to Timmy quite a bit about it. So the next morning, I was getting suited up, getting ready to climb my buggy, and some guys were kind of talking trash. "Oh, he ain't gonna hit it." Timmy said, "I promise you he's gonna hit it." No, he ain't gonna hit it. And I didn't know this story until like 2 years later. Timmy said, "He's gonna hit it," and then they said, "No, he's not." Timmy said, "I bet you a steak dinner he hits that with everything he has." And they said, all right, we'll take that bet. Sure enough, it hit it, launched right over, landed it perfect. Everything went great, completed the course, and Timmy won a steak dinner. So
nice.
I was pretty happy.
I think that's Liam Morris. The numbers and cars. These are cars are starting to get quite muddy.
Yeah. And again, I love the Ultra 4 buggies gripping through here. They sound so good.
Can I guess the Juggy? No, that was probably the third rock bouncer type vehicle that I drove in my life.
I'm gonna have to go watch this video with Nick, see what the first one is.
I need to dig up a picture of the vehicle I'm talking about.
That would be cool.
That's what I need to do. All right. I think that was Trevor Foltz that just took up off the hill. Let me get a good look here. Yes, that's Roger King that just passed us and is heading up the hill now.
I think that Fat Girl wheelie video that Cole Shirley took for Mad Ram, I think it was like 2008 or 2009. That was like the Fat Girl video he posted. So Timmy had that buggy right around, I think it was 08, 09. That'd be about 10, 11 years, 12 years ago. Which that's about right. Southern Rock Racing Series, now the National Rock Racing Association, has been doing it about 10 years. So
yeah, I think this is year 10 right now.
So I think that would have been a few years before that maybe, or right around the beginning of it. So 08, 09, I think it was right around there. And it's still one of my favorite videos of him. And he's just like a bunch of dudes out in the woods playing. He backs up to the drum and finally hits the rock ledge enough to where the back tires come over and rides a wheelie up the hill. And every dude in the world is like, "That's awesome." Like, I don't know what it is, but I want one of those. Like,
Which is how the sport started.
It is. It's so true that you just see this guy riding a wheelie on a buggy up a hill. You're like, that's pretty cool.
That kind of stuff, like just playing around out in the woods, on trails, whatever, and then being like, yeah, but let's see who can do it the fastest.
Yeah, which any guy that can ride a wheelie while climbing a hill in a buggy, do you think that guy's going to be an okay rock bouncer? His name's Tim Cameron. You might have heard of him. He does okay. He does all right. So, but he was doing buggy stuff and rock bouncing stuff kind of before it was a sport, kind of like the Bubba Bacons.
Oh, yeah.
They were doing rock bouncing stuff long before it was a sport.
Before the term rock bouncing existed.
Yeah, back when it was just...
Well, and that's how it got its start, was just like that.
It was funny.
Deciding to see how fast you could do it. Trey Guest, Showstopper, he said he's trying to remember older rigs. No, not Showstopper. Now, it's not... Nobody probably will know this one. I don't even know what happened to it. I don't know. I don't even know if Dad tore it down and used the parts or if he sold it. I have no memory of what happened to it.
Did it move on to greener pastures?
I really don't remember. So you probably won't know unless you have seen Nick's Reminiscing on the Hill video that he put out after the race this past weekend.
All right.
But I can ask another trivia question.
I seen him talking to Danny Smith for a while, doing some interviews I got to watch later.
Yeah,
so.
he got, is it your birthday? Happy birthday!
James Cantrell walking by the booth up here today. Naturally, this close to his home, he has to come and watch some racing.
Oh, he's going to be racing later.
He's racing side-by-sides later?
Yeah.
Of course he is.
Yeah, he was qualifying yesterday. Let's see. Let's go with another trivia question. What park has the NRRA, the SRRS,
yes,
depending on whatever you think of it as, What park has it been racing at the longest as a series? What park has the National Rock Racing Association, the SRS, been racing at the longest? And remember, you have to answer on the Southern Rock Racing Series Facebook page, because that's the one that I have pulled up right now. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
What's up? We have the Willis Racing team up here with us.
Wheels. I'm sorry.
Wheels.
Look. Wheels.
Yes, and I said it 3 or 4 times this morning. What Justin Willis was on the live feed this morning commenting. So
Oh, yeah?
he was. He was saying how great a job we were doing.
Why don't you say your name
Yes.
for us, for everybody?
Wheels.
There you go.
And we
Let
have
it be on the record, okay?
we have-
I try.
we have 2 racers sitting with us.
Yep.
She'll be racing at noon today. Is that right? Bouncers kick off at 2. So we have several racing. We walked the course this morning. What do you think?
It shouldn't be too bad. It's a whole lot better than the other side.
Yeah. Those what he's talking about is the course on the other side. There's several big jumps that claimed a lot of rigs here last year.
Well, it's mostly just a cliffside
Yeah.
over there. So there's a lot of carnage last time.
Yep.
So I'm glad to see you guys over here this time.
We were talking this morning. You made some top secret updates to the buggy. Add a little horsepower with it.
Yeah, I did. Probably added a couple hundred horsepower to it, so we put an air filter on it.
Yeah. You know, maintenance is important. You know.
Yeah, we went from that little bitty baby air filter to a humongous one. So
Yeah.
Right.
Hopefully, add some
Breathe.
power. So we got a couple courses. What's your game plan for today? I know there's a couple handfuls of racers here. So what's your game plan?
do better than everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said we got a
I like it. Simple,
Yes.
easy to remember.
we got a big jump. What's your game plan with the jump?
Third gear to the floor.
Clear it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, again, for those of you tuning in right now, you can see this massive jump they're going to have to hit behind us.
That's the leap of faith, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Apparently,
It
I
is.
didn't know
That's
that.
what it's called, leap
Matt
of faith.
said.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it got that name about 5 years ago when we were
Sounds accurate.
here jumping. We're jumping. That's what somebody called it that, and it kind of just stuck, and then we titled a video of that. So, you know, once it's on YouTube, it's cemented in life.
Oh, yeah, once you say it on the internet.
Yeah. That's what, like, all
That's
the...
how Fable Hill got its name.
Yeah.
I was calling it that
Yeah.
during one of the races. And
So it's leap of faith, and again, it'll take a little bit of a leap of faith. They did come back and rework it again last night, so it's got a little more dirt ledge coming up to it, but
Yeah, it don't look too bad.
pretty good time.
yeah, they actually added a lot to that
Yeah.
last night. They built up the ramp section of it quite
Which-
a bit. So
gives it a little more peace of mind when you're blazing up to it. And you're racing today at noon, racing a 170. Pretty excited? Yeah, feeling pretty good.
how long have you been racing that now? Your second?
What was the first thing you raced at? That's right, Visions Off Road, baby. Getting out there, having a good time, had a lot of fun. And then after Visions, you said, "Hey, I'm not done playing." We went out, hit some big, huge high bank ovals
Yeah,
To
and
the-
I beat you up.
to the point where it was almost not going to make it up the turn. And then once you made the turn, you got a lot of momentum going down. We're blazing down it. It was a good
I
time.
do remember you coming up to Matt and making a point to tell him that you made it up and around.
Yeah, we were having a good time. We were having a lot of fun. We were just playing after the end of the race, just having a good time, you know. We were looking at their big jump as well. They had a pretty good jump. The knockout guys were racing there.
Yep.
Do you think you're going to graduate to a UTV or a full-size bouncer at some point? Maybe a few years down the road? Yeah.
I mean, it's already pink and purple. You know, it's not hard to miss. Hey, you know, Dad, hey, let's double duty it, you know. You know? You and Cash can have, like, the kids battle it out, you know.
There you go.
See if you can knock them off the podium,
Cash
you know.
needs some competition in the under 13 class.
Yeah.
But he's got Cutter.
Oh, Cutter, yeah.
True.
Cutter,
Still racing around.
Cutter Wayne, he's been doing a little side-by-side and pit bike action here lately. Yeah, so we got a pretty good handful of kids out there that they're getting in it.
Yeah.
But what's your favorite part of the weekend so far?
Gonna spend time with everybody.
Yeah, it's a pretty good time. And being that our races normally start really early in the morning, being these racers, we have the endurance racing this morning. We have a little time to kind of goof off, get up, have some breakfast, check the air pressure on tires. And it's not often where you get a race and your dad gets to race both, so that's pretty cool.
And in the same day.
And the same day, yeah.
Yeah. This will be the first.
First time you guys have raced in the same day?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Visions was
Two different
a different day.
Yeah, that's true.
You guys got a busy day playing there.
Are we going to see you guys at Bikini Bottoms?
Yeah, we'll be at Bikini Bottoms and we'll be at finals.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
And at finals, you have a very interesting way you're getting there. Explain finals. Your traveling layout for finals.
I'm having somebody else drive my truck and trailer, and I'm flying in.
I was like,
Nice.
man, I tell you what, someday I'll be at that super bougie level where I can just fly to races, you know.
The 1st year I went to Hammers, we did that.
Flew in.
Brandon Dillon drove. It was already taking his buggy, so we put the Avenger on the trailer with
Yeah.
him, and we flew.
It's the easiest way.
Nice.
But being from North Carolina, it's 18 hours for us to
Yeah.
18
Mid-America.
hours. That's literally
And
an entire day of
I've
driving.
already made it like twice this year.
That's rough.
Wow.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't blame you.
18 hours. 18 hours of driving. And that's not including road construction, a bridge being
That's
out,
not
a
round trip
detour.
either.
Yeah.
that's one way.
That's
Jeez,
terrible.
That's a long 18
I thought the
hours.
10 hours that I do was bad.
Yeah.
Stopping for potty breaks, stopping to get snacky snacks, you know.
Hey, if we're getting gas, is the only time we stop.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Y'all are those kind of road trip people.
Yeah.
And we got a 130-gallon fuel tank. So
Oh,
That's what I was
no.
going to ask. How far can you go if we have to pull
12
over?
hours.
12.
I go 12
Wow.
hours. Yeah.
So,
I
Nonstop.
can't.
yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't.
Mom's
Remind
like-
me never to travel
Yeah.
with the wheels.
Mom is like,
family.
we take potty breaks, okay?
Hey, I offer them they stay in the camper as I'm driving down the road, but they don't do it.
Yeah, that'd be kind
I
of
would.
scary. Look back, and the truck's all waving
That'd
around.
be tempting. I don't know.
Yeah. She's like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, last time we were here, she rode through.
Don't be saying secrets.
She didn't. She rode in the truck with a seatbelt
Yeah,
on.
she
Take a
rode in
nap,
there.
get back there, turn your iPad on, watch some TV, right?
Yeah, last time we come up here, she was in the camper, and it was like 6 in the morning when we got here, still dark, and it was packed. There was
Oh.
no parking.
That's right.
And she's in the top of the camper, and I'm just bouncing through all this, trying to find somewhere to park.
It's like an earthquake back there.
It is a little bit of a rough ride to get back here.
We ended
I
up
can't
having to
imagine
park
doing it in the camper.
Yeah.
It was
Like-
funny.
Like,
You
I
were
think the camper's going
Laying
to
on the
flop off
floor
the trailer.
trying to keep from rolling around.
Oh, man. Yeah, they had Ultra 4 here last time. It was Ultra 4 and Pro Rock, and then with National Rock Racing Association doing the broadcasting for it. It was a very busy weekend. Miles was here, so
Yep.
it was a very, very long
Yeah, it was
weekend, I'm
good
sure,
times.
for everybody. But
Yep.
so it's kind of cool when you can do those dual events where you get everybody together, hang out, and have a good time. And so it's a lot of fun.
Everybody in one place. You guys have anyone that you want to give a shout out to? Sponsors to thank?
For me,
Fun facts that you think people should know about you?
Yes.
We're down for anything.
all right. Here's the biggest secret that nobody knows.
Yes.
I like pink.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
You
so
know, I was starting to suspect. But
Yeah.
now I'm
Even
glad
my-
to have that confirmed.
even
Yes.
my toenails.
Oh, toenails?
Only the people at Visions know about
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Oh, that is a big secret.
yeah. You've done quite a few chassis changes this year,
Yeah.
especially after Wildcat.
Yeah, I've tore up a lot.
Yeah?
I've pushed that buggy to its limits, of course. I don't think 120 wall tubing is made for my driving.
That I would concur.
So we had to cut the front end off. I kept breaking the tubes the way my bumps was in the front. I kept breaking the front, I don't know what you call it, the frame horns, I don't know.
Yeah.
Where the coolant runs through, and so we just chopped the whole thing off and redone it. And ain't had no issues since.
It was at Wildcat. There was 4 or 5 guys getting loaded, by the excavator, and you were, I think, the last one. And it was slowly just swinging back and forth. It's almost the most demoralizing thing as you watch your buggy just swinging on a lift as they're loading. And I said, "Well, what'd you break?" And you went, "Okay, I broke this and this and this and this and this," and you just kept listing things. And I'm like,
it was everything.
And then once we got back home, we realized we broke much more.
way more
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, that's
But
usually how it goes.
the biggest thing on that one was my transmission, and Fritz, he knocked it out of the park.
Yep.
It was Easter weekend. Wildcat was right before
Yep.
Easter weekend, and we had a race to get to in 2 weeks, and Fritz was like, "Bring it to me on Saturday, and I'll get it rebuilt." And this was Easter. And one thing about him, man, we was just swapping cases. And I was like, well, it's 9 hours for me to get to Fritz. I said I'll leave like midnight, get there when he's there, you
Yep,
know, 8 in the
yep.
morning or whatnot, and we'll swap it out like 2-3 hours, just swap the guts, and I'll be on my way back. Yeah, 12 hours later.
Wow.
Like, when this man builds a transmission, like, it's art. Like,
Really?
every piece that goes in that transmission is milled. He puts it in a lathe and fits it perfect.
That's crazy.
You know, when I rebuild a transmission, you know, you drop the last drum in there and it still wobbles a little bit, and you put the pump on there and it's sturdy. No, you drop it in there, it's solid as a rock.
That's awesome.
And so he's the biggest that come through me, and of course Chris over there at Diddy's. When we was loading it up on the trailer with the excavator, he was over there, helped us took the broke shocks and everything off, and had them back to me
Really?
like within days.
Yeah.
So between them two, I mean, they done
Did
outstanding.
you
for me.
build Voodoo Child from
I
scratch?
didn't.
Or?
I didn't. Originally, Shelby had the buggy, Shelby Sinclair,
Oh yeah.
and so George at Angry Fab built it originally, and then of course Shelby never knows what he wants, so he sent it to. I don't know who all's messed with it, but who done most of the work was Heath Day. Cut the front off, cut the back off, and done all kinds of changes. And then
Gotcha.
when I got it, I've done a couple of other things.
Yeah. Tweak here and there.
Yeah. We ain't hit the podium quite yet, but
You're close. You've been
Yeah.
fourth at several races, I know.
fourth and
You've
fifth
been
about
having a very
every.
solid season.
Yeah, about
You're
every
gonna start
event.
creeping up there.
I know.
They better watch out.
I'll say Dirt or Turtle, I know you're fourth because it was like literally you wrecked, and like 2 weeks later you were almost on the podium after you literally
Yeah.
had to put everything back together.
Yeah,
I was impressed you had the buggy back together, much less came in fourth that day.
yeah.
So-
we didn't see him.
No?
He was out in the garage.
Oh, I bet. You just like have a little cot next to the buggy. You get tired, take a little nap, hop back up, go back to work.
Yeah, it was a busy time.
I
for
bet.
sure.
I could imagine. Again, seeing fourth, that's pretty awesome. But awesome, just to know that Fritz is that meticulous with putting that training back together. Obviously that's the reason it's still probably going now. So
Yeah.
I know he takes care of quite a bit. Sparky was one of the first guys he helped up with, and he came to the first couple races with Sparky, and Sparky was telling him, "Oh yeah, he'll take care of it." And Fritz kept, "Stop saying that." He said, "I want to make sure this works first before I start telling it to everybody."
Yeah.
And most guys are the exact opposite. Most guys want to make as much money as they can. Fritz is like, "Don't tell nobody about it until we know it's going to work 100%. Really, really take the abuse." And again, there's 2 or 3 times where Sparky do $3,000, $4,000, 3,000 or 4,000 RPM neutral drops, and it'd take it. I was very impressed at how he could just 4,000 just drop it right and drive, and that thing would sling right out of the hole. So
He does some crazy stuff. I know with Krog, he's got a wild setup in there that nobody knows about.
yeah. I know they tested on that for quite a while.
Yeah, he keeps messing around with it. Well, it's Krog's running Ford. I think it's
Yep.
it's C, not a C4, C2
Yeah.
transmission or something like that. But it's a weird little setup he's got going
And I know
on.
they were playing around with it at Dirty Turtle because the first run they had some issues, and I guess Larry wasn't even going to run it on the second run. And Fritz said, "Yeah, get in there and run it." He goes, "What's worse, to tear it up?" He said, "I don't care." He said, "Get in there and run it hard." And Krog did obviously get about halfway up that second course and ended up just smoking the transmission totally. It wouldn't move. But later on, Larry was the one that said, he goes, he wasn't. He said, "I wasn't even going to run it." And Fritz told me, "Get in there and run it." He's like, "What's she going to do? Burn up some clutches? Who cares?" Like,
Yeah.
he said, "Run it. At least we'll know." And they noticed there were some issues. He said, but the benefit was, he said, at least if we went out and pushed it real hard, we could see definitely what the problem was. If it was putting too much pressure through one of the lines or whatever. So, and I'm sure they were playing with check balls and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And Fritz clearly knows what he's doing. So I'm sure if he was playing around with something, he's really trying to make it, where it, it's dialed in, 100%. So. Fritz has definitely got it dialed down pretty tight. So I know he's helping out quite a few guys right now
Oh yeah.
in the bouncer community. So
Yeah, and then a big thing about him is, he builds bad to the bone transmissions for us, and he does. He's real big in the drag cars. But then you go to his shop, and I mean, he's got the neighbor down the road that can't afford, their transmission goes out and they can't afford it. Well, he does so good with us that he's able to
Yeah.
take care of his local, customers, and it helps them out pretty good too. So
which is great to hear. You appreciate you can feel a little more comfortable paying a little more money, knowing, hey, this guy's going to help out a guy who maybe can't afford to.
yeah.
Single mom with a couple kids, who really can't help out.
All right, let's do a quick update on what has been going on the with the race action here. Steve Stosberg won for the stock class in that Cherokee, and then Mark Zabeth came in second. And the unlimited class is on their final lap right now. That's Trevor Foltz, Liam Morris, and Roger King battling it out in the final lap right now for the unlimited class.
I seen the Cherokee pull in. It looked like he had a pretty good day.
Yeah, he had a good time out there. He was. They had him on the microphone, the crowd, so he could talk to the crowd a little
That's
bit.
good times.
So, yeah.
You got to love a
So
Cherokee.
good for him. Congrats to Steve winning that stock class survival today.
Again,
And then we'll have some results for the unlimited class soon. They're on that last lap. Oh, and also, let's see. Carrie Ann, yes, you were correct. The Time Machine is the first bouncer that
Time
I
Machine.
ever drove, as far as I can remember anyway. Yeah, the Time Machine is, like I said, unless you watch that video with Nick, I don't know what happened to that thing. I'll have to find out. I haven't thought about it in a long time. So that is the first one, so you are correct. Thanks for playing trivia here with Matt and Bree on Hillside Live. And actually, someone answered, yeah, Trey, you were right. My second trivia question, what park have we been racing at the longest with the NRA? Yes, Hawk Pride is the answer. We started there in 2012. I think there's been a year or two that we did not race there. It hasn't been every single year, but we definitely have been going there the longest.
That's it. It's a good park.
Hawk Pride.
Yep.
It's a classic.
It's a long drive for me because I'm an Illinois guy, so that's all.
I like it because it's only like 2-something hours.
It's like a straight line down. Just keep driving until you get to the bottom of the U.S., basically, for me. But it's a good park. The people there are super awesome. They usually try to roll out the red carpet. They got a nice little gazebo at top. We'll usually all head up there and get some lunch, hang out, and goof off. And they usually take pretty good care of us there. So they got they got a nice bath out. My thing is, as long as I can get a nice warm shower at the end of the day, I can be through like the worst scenario during the day. As long as I get a nice warm shower before bedtime, I'm okay. I can be the dirtiest, roughest, greasiest, be broke down, have the worst day. As long as a nice warm shower at the end of the day, I'm good.
Some food
Yeah.
in a shower makes,
some snacky
makes
snacks.
a huge difference.
Yeah, some snacky snacks, whatever.
Well, you guys are welcome to stay up here and chat with us if you want, but we're not going to make you if you want to go walk around and hang out with everybody.
You got a race here
Yeah, we
shortly.
gotta go get her ready anyway.
That's
some
right.
race prep.
Going to be coming
Yeah.
up pretty soon. Well, good luck. Have fun.
All right.
We'll see you guys later.
Yes, sir. Y'all behave.
Yeah, thanks for coming up here, guys.
Yep.
All right. We should be coming up to having a winner here really soon in the unlimited class. They're about halfway through that final lap. Again, Steve Stosberg did win the stock survival class. And Mark Zabeth came in second.
Again, that was a Toyota, or a Cherokee and a Toyota. So a huge shout out to those guys. Again, I love seeing Cherokees out there. It's so much fun because I've wheeled a Cherokee for so long. They're such a great kind of beater with a heater type vehicle. You can get out there, buy one for $500 off Facebook Marketplace, head to your local off-road park.
Beater with a heater.
Yeah, you ever heard that?
No.
My dad owned a car lot. That was one of the terms we used for a car that maybe wasn't as nice, but it would get you from work and home. Some people would come in and be like, hey, I just need a cheap work car. I need something to get me back and forth to work, just a beater with a heater. That's what.
I guess growing up in Illinois, you needed a heater.
Oh yes. It was
everything.
very, very cold in wintertime. You might be negative 20 and you're chiseling ice off the
Ugh.
window. Yeah, it gets kind of cold in Illinois. We're not like Windy City cold.
Right.
We're not like Wisconsin. There's not like 2 foot of snow every day, but it does get pretty chill. That's why I love Illinois, because you still get like a full winter, but yet it's still like a super hot summer. Where you go to Kentucky, you may not get as much winter. You might get 1 or 2 really
It's like
light
our
snows.
Tennessee winters.
Yeah,
I'm okay
yeah.
with that.
You get like
It might be like 60-something degrees on
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah.
And then January will suck.
yeah.
But
Is it
it's
you guys
okay.
get a lot of snow in Tennessee?
Not
Not
no.
really?
We might get like one good
Yeah.
snow, maybe.
How long does your
2.
snow last? Does it melt pretty quick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get a lot more ice,
Okay.
Comes Roger King.
unfortunately.
Yeah, I see.
No, it sucks to drive on and is not any fun to play in.
Yeah.
either.
Yeah. You just
But our
slide.
weather does vary a lot. Our winters do. They can be really mild, or sometimes January and February can be rough. But better than being all the way up north.
Yes. Yes. We get a lot of snow.
All right, Roger King heading out for his final lap. Yeah, my parents and all my extended family are from Wisconsin, and I tell them all the time, I'm really glad they chose to move down here to
Yes.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
I would much rather be raised in Tennessee.
Yeah.
than
There's
have to deal with those Wisconsin winters.
well, and oh, yeah.
Although the summers are great up there.
Yeah, it's
humidity.
yeah. Illinois, we have lots of humidity. It's miserable in the summertime, but it also helps our corn grow. And we have a big, huge farming community. So on the outskirts of my hometown. So I got a lot of family who farm, some buddies who farm. So it helps the corn grow. We get like more bushel an acre there versus like anywhere else in the world. So it's a pretty awesome place. For that part, the humidity is nice. But when you're trying to work in the shop and you're like melting,
Yeah.
like, and it's not even so much the
Definitely
temperature.
a large
it's the
part of
hu-
life in
Yeah.
Tennessee.
I have friends that live in Arizona, and it'll be like 103, and they're like, man, it's kind of warm today. And I'm like, 103 where we're at? Like, it's 83, and we're melting in the shop just because the humidity is 100%, you know?
Uh-huh.
It's like almost unbearable, like sweats in your eyes.
There's a view of those hills/cliffs that we were talking about that we raced on the last time we were here.
Which were violent.
Glad to be on the opposite side
Yeah.
of the hills today. And you can see I believe that's Liam Morris. I hope I'm saying his last name right. There's a possibility it could be Maurice,
Yeah,
but I think it's Morris.
Morris, I like that.
So
Justin
if
Willis.
I'm wrong, I apologize.
Justin
No.
Willis. Willis was
Oh.
on the live feed
I
this
was about
morning.
to say
yes.
no, Matt.
Yes, Justin Willis was on the live
I
feed
know
this morning.
that really
commenting.
throws everybody off
It is.
because it's spelled so closely.
Yes, yes, was on the live feed coming. So the funny part was me and Justin Wills were talking about him this morning because he was going to do some racing for Justin Wills. So it was kind of funny that I was using literally both names this morning.
But that'll really mess you up.
It will.
All right, Liam Morris.
I concur.
He just finished up and came in first for the unlimited survival class. Shelby says it's Morris. All right, you know what? That's what I thought, but
All right.
Joey just said Maurice out there, so then he's throwing me off.
Shelly also said,
I
Matt,
gotta just go with my instincts here.
he said, your drive is short compared to mine. I used to always love whining about how far my drive was until I was standing next to the Maine Maniac,
Yeah.
Joe Pierce, because he lives in Maine. So he was like, whatever my drive was, add like 9 hours
Yeah.
on. So you'd be like,
A lot of
oh,
those, I mean,
it took me 8 hours.
Adam Ringer,
Yeah.
has a long drive.
Yeah, he's another quite a long drive. I haven't seen him much this year.
No, we haven't.
He's in Showgirl,
No, I missed seeing
Showgirl
him
buggy,
out
right?
there. Mhm.
Yeah, he does. He wheels that pretty hard.
He's in West Virginia.
He's
I
like,
think?
yes, I believe so. He's always like give it the old Bobby Tanner. He drives about like Bobby does. He's more or less here to party with a buggy than a race, I
old
think.
school.
Yeah,
Old
he
school rock bounce.
Has a good time. He's a 2.5
In
ton
an
axle
old
guy.
school buggy. Yeah.
Yep.
Showgirl's
And-
been around for a while.
And he drives that buggy extremely hard. Like he is a no cares given kind of guy.
Yeah, that thing's tough.
And I've seen him on, several courses where he's, just bouncing around wide open throttle, just having a good time. So, oh my goodness.
Shelby, Hill Killing is supposed to start around 2 o'clock today. That is the plan. You going to come up here and talk to us?
I can.
Come on. We got you a headset and everything. Look at this fancy stuff.
Say what's up to everybody.
We're moving on up in the world.
First off, thank y'all for coming and sitting in the sun and keeping everybody entertained and up to
Yeah.
date what's going on.
Oh, yeah?
I appreciate that.
We are glad to be out here. So, Steve Stosberg won the stock class. Liam Morris just won the unlimited class. How have things been going out there on y'all's end this morning?
That's great. The track's great. Having no problems, no issues. They saying the track's getting really burned in, so should be really fun for these stock guys. They should really be laying it out there. Should be some good lap times. We've seen them guys a lot of action here.
It looks like you had quite a few side-by-sides to do some endurance racing with today.
Yeah, I think so. It's a good group.
Shelby, we are on Eastern time here, the non-normal
Yes.
time.
Yes, we hail from the Central Standard Time, so shout out to those guys.
Like, share. What's that thing y'all used to say? Your buddy, Miss old Dave. What would he say?
Something like basically, hit the like button, hit the share.
Yep,
You gotta
subscribe.
be careful though. Facebook will start
Yeah. throttling you back.
throttling
Yeah.
your stuff back if you get a little share.
We don't want to get too
Yeah.
popular out there.
Who
huh?
even knows how to handle Facebook these days?
Jody Ford says hi. He says,
Oh, what's up, Jody? Yeah, miss those guys.
Hey,
Miss-
Jody.
All the Brandon crew, I'm sure, out there cheering us
Yeah.
on today.
Jody, I was reminiscing about my time doing the survival race a few years ago. All
It-
thanks to you guys.
It is definitely a blast. Hey, I miss Jody and those guys. We might not have as much trash this year, but last year this place was just trash, and their whole teams, like 40 of them, come in and just wipe the whole place. You could eat off the.
Really?
Oh yes,
That's awesome.
Those guys. So I miss y'all's guys, and stay safe, and we're gonna get back to it. So thank
All
y'all
right.
guys.
All right,
Okay.
see you, Trip.
That was Trip Poland coming down and give us a shout out and talk a little about some of the action going on today. Again, we have the endurance racing section this morning of the full size rigs are done. We still have side by sides to go. After that, around noon is when they're going to kick off the kids race, and then 2 o'clock will be big bouncers. So you definitely don't want to miss some of the action coming up today. We are going to shut down after the endurance racing, and then we'll kick probably back off for the big bouncers at 2 o'clock today.
Taylor, are we going down before UTV? All right. We will find out.
Okay.
All right, so your winners for the stock class survival, Steve Stosberg, and then Mark Zabeth in second. And then for the unlimited class, it was Liam Morris, and then Trevor Foltz, I believe. I believe he came in, so he should.
Finish this lap, that means that Roger King is officially going to be your second place.
Oh no!
In third, Tanner. I was looking at Zach Tanner's calls.
Hold on, we're listening.
Yes.
All right, so Roger King is about to come back through, and that will put him in second place for the unlimited, and then Trevor Foltz in third.
The game of survival, that's why we call it that. We're ready to see him come through.
And then for those of you that are, looks like we got a few people asking on here.
With the flag.
We'll be back shortly, 20 to 30 minutes for UTV survival. And then the hill climbing will be around 2 o'clock. That's Eastern time later this afternoon. All right, Taylor, are we waiting for Trevor to come on through, or are we going to go ahead? That was Roger King
I think we had one more guy out.
in second place for the unlimited. I'm not sure. It's hard
Yeah.
to hear
Yeah.
the speakers out there with the headphones on.
I was trying to listen to Trip where he was
He
talking.
definitely said Roger was in
Yes.
second, and then Trevor was in third,
Yeah.
though. So Trevor's either still out there, or he might have broken and come
Yeah,
back in.
I thought I heard him say something about a DNF, but I think they might have been seeing if he was going to finish or not.
Okay.
And they said he is your official second place finisher for today. Again, it's all the buggies look pretty muddy, so it's kind of hard to tell them apart sometimes when they're blazing through the woods and you just see a clip, short little 2-second clip of one here or there.
Tabitha, yes, we will be live for the UTV survival. We'll be coming back on in 20 to 30 minutes for that. And then there will be a kids 170 race. We won't be live for that. It's too far away. We aren't able to cover that. But then we'll be back, of course, around 2 for the UTV and Bouncer Hill Climb. But we'll be back real shortly.
Yep.
For UTV survival, we are at Rush Off-Road in Rush, Kentucky. So y'all don't go too far. We're going to be back pretty soon.
We'll see you guys back in a little bit.